Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming and soon Season 8 of Diablo 4. This video aims to tell you everything you need to know about this new season in what should be a quick overview video. So let's begin. We have a new season questline to go through. Belial returns to Sanctuary in Season 8. You might remember him as a key figure actually in the campaign of Diablo 3. In that story he did feature multiple forms, a smaller one and a bigger one, and we've got quite the familiar setup to that in Diablo 4. We're going to encounter this guy at random after certain boss fights in his smaller ambusher form as well as in the new world event. But he does have a big bad main form as a higher tier boss than even something like Druid. With his return though, the Apparition monsters are going to be all over the place. And new NPCs are going to be helping us try to uncover whatever it is he's planning. The questline will be known as the Lord of Lies, and we'll start it by speaking with a new NPC found in Incursion called the Stranger. With Season 8 returns the familiar reputation system. The final reward is once again the Resplendent Cash, so one of you guaranteed Resplendent Sparks from Mythic Unique Crafting will come from this. To earn rep, we'll just need to complete the new Apparition incursions and kill bosses all over the game. There's a heavy boss focus in this season, as we'll soon find out. 10 new unique bosses are found in the new incursions, but the classics are going to be involved in all of this. The world bosses and the ladder bosses, now known as the Lair bosses. But let's talk about Apparition Incursions, the new boss rush event in the open world. These will occur on any difficulty, every few minutes across the map in different zones. After killing enough of the regular enemies found there, this will cause one of the 10 Apparition bosses to spawn in. Each one has their own boss power to collect, as we'll soon discuss. But the idea of this boss rush is to kill enemies quick, spawn a random boss, kill that, and do it again. But as usual with new season events, it's going to be a great source of drops and XP while leveling, but most importantly, you'll be getting new seasonal currency from this called Spectral Ash. This is the resource that you use to upgrade your currently unlocked boss powers. Just be wary because in this event, you can encounter the ambusher form of Belial here, as we'll soon explain. But let's cover the new boss powers as that new seasonal borrowed power. There are 24 boss powers to collect in total, and each one is gained after defeating one of the many bosses the first time. Once unlocked, it is now free to equip and even unequip that power however you want using the new boss power tab. You'll find in this tab that we have 4 slots, 1 main and 3 modifiers. Whatever boss power you have in the main slot is kind of your main active power. The mods enhance you and the power that you have. They gave us a few showcases of this, like the Wandering Death Chest Beam. It's this frost beam that spins around you when active, dealing big damage. If this was instead placed as a modifier, it'll instead trigger a kind of execute effect as more of a passive benefit. So there's a mix of powers that will make boss powers stronger or make you specifically better. It's going to be an important part of builds in Season 8. Some examples of active boss powers were these. The Blood Pools from Zir, where you can have up to 3 down at once. The Flaming Skull of Andariel, which is a fire beam compared to the frost one. The new Harbinger's power has you firing 2 piercing fireballs that applies vulnerable to targets. Belial's power, the eye beams, fire these eye beams from all around you at once. It activates when you drink a potion, so intentionally timed, and it provides damage reduction while it's up. But this does force a slight cooldown on your heal, so there are ups and downs here. Duriel's power, by comparison, lets you change your evade to this burrow effect to go underground for a few seconds, making you untargetable while you're dealing damage from that safe location, which could be amazing for learning some of the new boss fights. So yeah, 24 powers to collect, lots to test. But now let's talk about the bosses themselves. The whole ladder boss concept has changed. Now known as the layer bosses, there's going to be lots of new mechanics and quality of life here. For example, literal new mechanics are going to occur in the familiar boss fights to make them more challenging, to make them maybe actually engaging and maybe not one-shot machines. We'll see. To summon them, it's changed a bit. It's now completely free to summon a boss, but to get the rewards, you need the familiar summon materials. These have been renamed to keys though and simplified. This means there's 1 key for each boss on average. So take Varshan that had 4 body parts needed, now you just have the malignant hearts and that's it for Varshan. So you kill the boss, a chest spawns and you use these keys to open that chest to get the loot. But interestingly, this means each player post boss kill has to have their own resource of keys to open their own chest. This reduces the whole freeloading concept when it comes to boss farming. Everyone's got to use their own keys. However, the keys themselves are tradable, so you can divide things up between a group if you want. They're also encouraging group gameplay by giving us some kind of bonus cash drop when you play with others. On another bright note, the keys will now stack to 99, greatly improving inventory management. To help us understand the new boss system, they gave us this new infographic, showcasing the different tiers of the Lair bosses and how they connect to each other. So we have Initiate Lair bosses, the lowest level. This includes one of the new bosses, Uravar, the one from the Vessel of Hated campaign. Each one of these Initiate bosses will drop their own keys, associated with one of the tiers above this boss. So the next tier of bosses above Initiate is Greater Lair bosses. The classic Duriel and Endariel are found here, but also the new Harbinger of Hatred, which is another returning boss from the campaign of the DLC. So as you can see, any of these bosses might include an ambush from Belial, who when defeated drops Belial keys for the final tier fight, Belial in his supreme form, the pinnacle boss fight. Supreme Belial is in a new arena that breaks away with a super zoomed out camera. But Ambusher Belial will show up as a mini boss, post Lair boss kills, as well as potentially, like we said, in the Incursions. In regards to the Supreme version though, he has his own unique chest. It lets you choose from all of the different boss chests of the game, letting you kind of choose from the loot pools and pulling whatever you want. It's also great to know that the mythic unique drop rates increase as you progress up through the Lair boss ladder. That means this Supreme version is the highest drop chance from mythics, but it doesn't mean the ambush mini version isn't good too. Apparently it's got great drops, but it also spawns a duplicate chest of whatever boss you just opened. So that second version of the chest will also be pre-opened, so it doesn't need more keys, which is great. Kind of doubling up the loot whenever the ambusher spawns. Lastly, there's some big quality of life here too, like the ability to teleport straight to a Lair boss location, or info on what keys you need and how many, and what drops are possible there too. I should note that the bosses require multiple keys per chest open, though in the higher tiers, you require less keys. So those are the main aspects of Season 8, but there's quite a lot to talk about beyond that. Like say the new item stuff. Each class is getting one new legendary aspect and one new unique. And they've kind of overhauled the legendary system when leveling. Rare and magic items have been adjusted to be a lot more beneficial in the early game. So we'll see less legendaries during the leveling process, but magic and rare items are going to be a lot better. Magic items will have 2 affixes on them, rare can have up to 3. But legendaries are still going to be the best items. The result of this will be, hey, progression of items again in leveling, going from greys to blues, your magics, to yellows, your rares, and eventually all legendaries again, instead of just really quickly being covered in legendaries. Changes have come with the Battle Pass and the Season Journey. For the Battle Pass, we have a new Reliquaries series. The idea of this is to just let you choose the rewards in the order that you get them, instead of having to progress through every reward until you got all of them. So you have these 4 categories: Belial's Return, weapons, beasts, and armor. The first one is like the free battle pass. Everyone can access that. You can even unlock some platinum in there, which is really cool. But the other 3 are basically the paid battle pass, requiring platinum to access. We progress these through the familiar favor system from killing stuff and completing quests and the usual, but from that we'll get tokens that we then spend on the rewards that we want. There's also a bonus reward if you collect everything in each specific category. So yeah, classic battle pass concept, just more choice and better rewards and a lot more quality of life. They'll even be using this system for future events like special milestones or different collab events, like say the upcoming Berserk one. On the other hand, we have the differences to the Season Journey. There's the new main reward, which is this multi-eye cat pet, but more importantly, the Season Blessings are going to be found in the Season Journey now instead of the Battle Pass. We earn these by completing chapters in the Season Journey, but also individual objectives within it, and this should result in the Season Journey being a hyper priority in a new season, even more so than before. This time, our earned choices for the Season Blessings are going to be these things: increased rep gain, extra obdusite for your masterworking, increase the chance for Ambusher Belial to show up, increased ancestral cash potential from your whispers, and improved glyph leveling potential too. All of them pretty good. But it doesn't seem like we'll have one that just increases monster XP for the first time. As usual, in the Season Journey, you should expect the aspects and the rewards to be tied to builds that they're pushing for each class this season, often meta-worthy and worth engaging with early. So all of that is to say that the Season Journey is extremely important now. Other important changes are coming in though, like the Torment difficulty being increased. They found that the progression speed, and in fact number of players reaching Torment 4, doubled in Season 7 compared to Season 6. So they've made it harder. Torment 1 will now start at Pit Tier 10, but Torment and Pit scaling is increased to make them a lot harder. Torment 4 then will be comparable to Pit level 76 now, which is going to be a big jump. You're also going to find that there's been a bit of a leveling nerf compared to at least Season 7, where it was crazy. They did actually buff up XP compared to the PTR version if you played that, but the idea is to slow down the pace compared to Season 7. The average player took about 15 to 17 hours to get to level 60 during Season 6, where it was half that in Season 7. So they've walked it back a little bit. It should feel somewhere between Season 6 and 7, I would imagine. Class balance changes have also, of course, come in. Many specific changes to the classes have happened. I'd recommend looking at the patch notes for specifics. One big thing, though, is the fact that ultimate scaling has been capped across the board at 200% bonus damage potential. With Bloodwave in Season 7, we were reaching up to 700%, so everyone's capped at 200% to minimize that. They've also changed some things, like lucky hit-based CC effects are going to be reduced, and they've got new terms for damage over time. Like Shadow is now corrupting, lightning damage over time will be shocking, and cold damage over time will be frostbite. In regards to balancing though, there's going to be no more mid-season balance update. Instead, they're just going to react faster to crazy things that pop up early in a season. We should expect balance changes within the first few weeks of the season when, hey, the majority of players are still actually playing, which is probably a good idea. For some extra details, Conduit Shrines are completely gone from the game for now, since they've been really bad for a while. Upgrading glyphs is going to be easier in the new season, since to be fair, it did require the best builds to push the highest pit tiers to make the leveling process not kind of a nightmare, so it should be easier, but you still level your glyphs in the pit. The Obel gambling system has been buffed, making it more worth engaging with, and like I mentioned earlier, the Ancestral Whisper caches, they're returning from Season 7 since it was a great system from the Whispers, keeping Whispers very valuable. But yeah, that should do it. Those are the main details to know about Season 8 and some of the bigger changes coming to Diablo. I hope this overview was useful, and if it was, please do drop a like. We'll be covering all things Season 8 as it goes, so check back here regularly. Until then, I've been Hollow, you've been you, and thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.